And to be clear, you do not use algorithms to calculate the odds of a 16-year-old JV wrestler and his prospects of admission to Harvard and charge accordingly. That's not your business model. But the fact that this business model exists shows how competitive the industry is. How do you counter that?
Well, I think that we can be overly wedded to numbers. I don't think we can reduce college admissions to algorithms. I think there's a humanistic aspect to the and holistic aspect to the admissions process that I take college admissions officers at their word on. I've in fact seen this through my experience that students with perfect test scores don't necessarily get in.
It's not a sure thing.
It's not a sure thing, and I think that's a good thing because we're looking to build robust and talented communities in these colleges that contribute to the community, not necessarily everybody looking exactly the same way and getting the same test scores and grades. So, you know, just generally, mathematical algorithms, I believe in mathematics. I taught university mathematics, but I don't think that we can be overly wedded to them. I think it was Benjamin Disraeli who once said, you know, you have lies, damn lies, and statistics. We have to be careful about that.
That's a good point. Yet, admission rates to the top schools are, what, 6%, 7%. It's comparable to winning the lottery ticket. Talk about the level of anxiety out there. How much more are parents and students sweating the college admission process than 5 years ago?
There's a lot of anxiety. I think the best way to dissipate anxiety is arming oneself through information, through preparation, through rigorous long-term study. This is good for our society. It's good for our country. It'll make us competitive worldwide. And we simply don't want to pander to anxieties. I think it's a mistake.
Well, do you worry at all that the cost of test prep, even if you aren't feeling anxious, you want to have your kids be as prepared as possible, and if you have money, that's a really good investment. Do you worry at all that the cost of test prep will continue to divide, you know, college applicants into people whose parents could pay for it and people whose parents couldn't?
Yeah.
I think it's a very fair concern. Of course, in our company, we do an enormous amount of pro bono work. In fact, have never really turned anyone down for lack of financial capacity. But what we should recognize is that colleges themselves look at applicants against the backdrops of their opportunities. So credentials ought to be, I think, viewed in context. You know, an inner city child with a certain score is not the same as one attending an independent school with that same score. So the students who are the best in each socioeconomic group are the ones who will have the best potential once they get to college. So I think that's it's a good idea to select the best of the best from every group.
Arun, I remember in September 1984 when I showed up at Princeton, I met the guy who actually admitted me, and he said, you didn't get in because you were that smart, but you were really well-rounded. So how do you actually deal with that?
Yes.
I mean, seriously.
Confession time here.
Yeah.
Your reputation is that you are well-rounded. This is true.
I appreciate it, yeah. But no, I mean, because, like, you know, people want to be able to say, oh, my test scores are this, or I achieved that. But, you know, how do you build the case for this? Is a really interesting
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, a place like Princeton, of course, is very academically driven, and it is good to have strong credentials of an academic and nature. But at the same time, a place like Princeton, or any very good college, is a place that brings together talented students in music, in athletics, in art, in drama, and that's what makes those communities so special and robust. So well-rounded students are one thing, and well-rounded communities of students are another thing. So not every student has to have everything. We want a community that actually contributes to the broader life and well-being of the institution and the society that's there.
So one last point, very quickly. If there's one thing you could tell parents and the students right now this fall to get ready for the school year and the SATs, what would it be?
Begin preparing. There's no substitute for study. There's no substitute for preparing. This is the main thing to do, to commit to work.